Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I just wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about love and hip hop Huntsville, baby. WWE. Okay. Listen, we're just gonna talk. I'm a little late with the review, um, so let's just go ahead and get into it. We're gonna start out with Martell and Destiny. So Martell and Destiny meet up. He's shopping for furniture for his investment property that he says that Arion will be moving into with their son and her daughter. Um, this is what it feels like to me, based off of Martell saying that, this is who he's in a relationship with. It feels like Arion will more than likely, I'm assuming, I don't know, be making an appearance very soon down to the Love and Hip Hop Huntsville show. Carlos King likes to give us 47 episodes. So I don't know if she'll be in the first half or the second half, but I feel like she'll be more than likely, she'll be on the show. Um, can I be honest? As messy as I am, I definitely would have liked to see her on the show when Melody was on the show, just because it would have been some extra mess to talk about. But I don't know how I feel, girl. Like this, girl. Like I don't know how I feel about the side chick turned girlfriend, um, mistress, who's now with the husband on the white on the show. Like I think that would be the first where I've seen like the side chick who's now the girlfriend be on a show. I don't know how I feel about that. Like I said, I know it's probably not that big of a difference of me wanting to just see Ariane when she was with when Martell was with Melody, just to see some mess, right? That messy. In comparison to now, with it appearing as though Ariane might be mic'd up very soon. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Do y'all feel any way about Ariane possibly being on the show? I mean, at this point, Melody and Martell are divorced. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is on one side. Like, what can you do? That's Martell's girlfriend. He was trying to bring her on the show. He was trying to bring her on the show when they were together. Remember when I think the closest they got to was him having a conversation with Ariane on speaker. I think when he was in the car, remember? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being sensitive today. Because if I wanted the mess then, I should want the mess now. Girl, it is what it is. If she comes, she comes. If she don't, she don't. Um, he says basically that Ariane is his mattress, a maid, and a mule. He says that she respects him and that she takes care of him, the simple things, the cooking, making sure the family is good. I said mattress, maid, mule. I think the last one the diva added was mama. Did she say mattress, maid, mule, mama? Or did I add the mama? I don't know. Mattress, maid, mule, and mama, basically. He got a new slave, baby. Um, he says they can't move in together though, because it did pop in my mind. Go, why is she moving into your investment property? Why are y'all just not? Why are y'all not just moving in together? I mean, girl, at this point, does it really matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you don't know this girl. You have been with this woman off and on, girl, dealing with her to some capacity, girl, for at least the last what decade, maybe, or close to a decade. Um, he says that they have to wait until they get married. And then Destiny said, "Oh, so you're trying to do it right?" Let me say something. I do believe in some situations you can hit the restart button. Like, if you're someone who's sexually active and then you say, you know what? I don't want to have sex anymore until I get married. Okay, cool. In this scenario, I do find it odd though. What do you mean? And he didn't necessarily say yes or no, but I guess that's what he's trying to do. I don't think he's trying to make sure that he waits till it's right. I think he's just still stringing Arion along. Because you have been connected to this woman for too long for her to move into your investment property but not want to move into your home. It's not like he just met Arion last year. You ruined your entire family. You ruined your entire setup for this woman. And now that y'all can actually be together and be free, you move her into an investment property. I would think that now, okay, we can just be together. Girl, you cheated on your wife. Girl, she probably had multiple pregnancies, if we're just gonna be honest. I think she did. Because I think she said she had I think she said she had a heaven baby. Did Arion say that? I can't remember. Then she finally had a baby. And now Destiny's words are also y'all trying to do it the right way. Now again, Martell didn't necessarily say that, but it's like, you're a cheater. You ruined your family, and now y'all trying to do stuff the right way. But she's gonna move into your investment. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Me personally, I don't think that Martell wants to be with the girl. I think he's just stringing her along until the next girl comes along, and then Arion will, and even if he does take the big step with Arion, Arion will become the new Melody. Girl, you ain't no different. You gonna get treated the same way. Please believe it. You just the new Melody. Okay. Um. Anyways, so he says that he's been looking at rings. He says that she's wife material and she has those qualities. I don't want to sound disrespectful to nobody. I don't. I don't. Girl, I'ma say it. Girl, how a side hoe is wife material? Oh my god. No. How does that work? Shout out to all the side hoes. Girl, can y'all get down in the comment section and tell us how you went from being a side hoe to a wife and how that worked and what qualities? Ask your husband, a boyfriend, husband. Ask your husband. And this is for anybody who's gay, in a gay relationship, straight, not whatever your relationship. Ask your husband what qualities did he see in you when you was a side hoe and he turned you into a wife. That's what I want to know. Good. I don't know, girl. Let me shut up. That ain't got nothing to do with me, honey. Tisha and Maurice. Is it Maurice? No, Marsau. I got Tisha and Maurice. I be getting them confused. I literally have Tisha and Maurice. Tisha and Marsau. Listen, I just live in a regular apartment. Girl, I ain't got no square footage. Girl, I damn sure ain't building no home. I'm not buying a home. So shout out to all the homeowners. Baby, y'all doing better than me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maurice, Marsau, and Tisha. They doing a hell of a lot better than me. They are building a home. I think, or is it going to be private property? I'm not exactly sure. But he says it's a mansion. But baby, y'all have been talking about the Scott Manor. I know since season 1, season 2 in that house. Girl, I said I want to know who do y'all think he gonna finish the house before Chateau Thelma? Well, Chateau Cheray, but according to Kenya, it was called Chateau Thelma. Who y'all think gonna take the longest building their house? Cheray or Tisha and Marsau? At least Cheray was single. She was a single mother, taking on the world. Tisha and Marsau, they two working people. They taking a long time to finish this house. Girl, Nene said they make it when you got the coin. Do they got the coin? Girl, I don't know. let's just finish up Tisha and Marsau. Can I say something? I do not have kids, and I do not want none of the motherfuckers. Okay, girl. When I tell you, shout out to all the parents. But we're gonna talk about this in Hot Topics. But one time, I'm tired. Girl, I watched my nieces yesterday and today. When I say, baby, I just want to take a nap. When I say, I don't even know why y'all be having kids. I don't. Baby, when I tell you, girl, I'm tired. Girl, I'm not cut out for children. Girl, I need some me time. Girl, I need some peace and quiet. Girl, I don't know why y'all got kids. Because I don't know why y'all did it and how y'all did it and why y'all continue to do it. Girl, that shit is not for me. Shout out to all the mamas and daddies out there because I just don't get it. Girl, baby, I'm tired. Baby, do you hear me? Baby, I said, baby, uh-uh. I need a nap. A long one. About 8 hours. Anyways, so I ain't gonna never have no kids. Okay? But Tisha is with her son. So her son is 18. Baby, at this point, I'm not trying to be funny. Girl, they might as well go ahead and just, girl, they trying to be, by the time y'all finish that house, that boy been started his own family. Y'all trying to figure out where his room and where the kids' room's gonna be and where Miss Wanda gonna sleep. Girl, don't even worry about him. Cause baby, that baby been graduated with his master's degree by the time Tisha and Marsau finish that house. But anyways, so I felt bad for Tisha. I did. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because I want to go to this restaurant and get me something to eat and get this video up before I leave. But so she talking to the son. And she is telling the son how she's gonna miss him and how she wants to get a house built wherever he goes to school and how he needs to call her every day because he wants to go to Michigan and I think Marsau wants him to go to Michigan too, but she doesn't want him to go that far. She wants to be able to get to him as soon as possible if something pops off. And he basically said he'll miss. I think Tisha asked him was he gonna miss her, and he said no. He's gonna miss his dad. He's gonna miss his dad a little bit more than Tisha, and it just got me to thinking. I said, baby, your daddy almost offed you. I remember the first season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Marsau said, "Those ain't my kids. Those are Tisha's kids. I'm just the father." I remember either it was the first or second season of Love and Marriage Huntsville when Marsau was watching those kids and his son was allergic to peanut or peanut butter or almonds. I don't know, child. And he was about to give the child whatever he was allergic to and close his motherfucking throat up. Go have that baby running around and talk about hello. So for him to turn around and say that he was going to miss his dad a little bit more, you could literally see the disappointment and sadness on Tisha's face. And it really made me sad for Tisha. Because like Tisha said, girl, we never really get recognized for the hard work that we do. And I have heard this come out of mothers' mouths so many times about how the father, right, is looked at as the good time. Like she said that Marsau is the one that laughs, jokes, and plays games with the kids. And she is the one who basically lays down the hammer and is the disciplinarian. And I 100% believe Tisha because this is what happens, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, because your role is to raise the kids. His role is to bring home the bacon. So if you're raising the kids, you are going to be looked as the one who is probably the mean parent because you're literally having to do if it's fun time, homework time, nap time, where then he just can swoop in and like she said, just play games and joke around. So she'll be looked at as a bad guy. And I really do hate that for stay-at-home parents, whether it's the mother or the father, but most of the time it's the mother. But I just hate that for stay-at-home parents because you are like Tisha. Like I just feel like Tisha deserves a little bit more, not a little bit, a whole lot more respect. And for him to be like, "Girl, my dad is my pillar," and like, but she was like, "So what am I to you?" And he was like, "You're like the line that keeps me straight." I thought that was nice, but I really felt bad for Tisha because I think Tisha felt bad in that moment. Like, damn, like I don't raise your ass, and you talk the nigga who almost closed your motherfucking throat, girl, because he almost shoved a peanut down your fucking throat. You talking about he's your pillar, and girl, you're putting him on this pedestal. But I guess that's what happens sometimes, especially with sons and fathers. But if it wasn't for Tisha, your ass would be dead. Okay, I'm just saying. I think Tisha. I just think stay-at-home parents deserve a whole lot more respect. And for Marsau to be the one who's kind of put on this pedestal, it's like a slap in the face in a way. To me, it is. Anyways, um, oh, so Marquez goes to speak to Maurice Marsau, Maurice. Once I say Marquez, it's nuts. Marquez is nuts. Marquez needs to have his arms wrapped up in a jacket just like this. What is it called? A 5150 hold? Marquez is nuts. Psycho. Um, Marquez is talking to Maurice, and he basically lets him know that when he went to sign the divorce papers, he didn't sign the divorce papers because on the papers it said that they didn't have any minor children. And because Latricia didn't put on the paperwork that they did have minor children, he would have to prove that they had minor children. So he didn't sign the paperwork. Maurice asked Marquez, like, if he could have done anything differently, what would he have done? And he basically says that his big mistake was not leaving. Um, he says that he feels like Latricia doesn't want a divorce. He was like, I gave her to Ken. This is the thing with Marquez. Marquez is one of those niggas who doesn't want to believe that a woman left him. Like, even though Marquez technically did, from what I remember last season, correct me if I'm wrong, he got his shit. And I guess technically, I guess he did leave her. But when he came back, he thought that Trisha was still going to be waiting on him. And what he didn't know was Trisha had already had another nigga move his shit into the house. He misplayed his hand. Just kind of like Martell played his hand all the way wrong. He thought that he was really going to be able to have a girlfriend and a wife, and Melody was going to stay. If y'all wasn't on TV, Melody probably more than likely would have stayed. But Melody got her bras and panties and them kids and punched into the other side of town. Marquez thought he was gonna go to Atlanta with all the BBLs and liposuctions and girl titties and big booty models and all that shit. No shade, because I want some liposuction too. But he thought he was gonna go to Atlanta with the land of the big butt girl, sow his raw oats, and then bring his ass back to Huntsville. And when he came back, girl, the locks was changed, and girl, when he walked to the house, it was a big nigga named Ken walking around. Okay, be very clear. um, but yeah, he says that Latricia doesn't want a divorce, and that he gave her to Ken. He has this idea of them possibly taking a vacation together. Let me say this. Y'all already know we wore Latricia out last year. At least I know I did. But Latricia does not like Ken. You can tell when Ken, not Ken, girl, she does not like Marquez. Latricia does not like Marquez. You can tell when Marquez comes around, her anxiety goes through the roof. Her whole attitude changes. You can tell she wants to fight him. I don't think that necessarily means that she's in love with somebody. I do not buy. I do. Let me be very clear. I do not buy into the notion that because you get pissed off when you see an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-husband, that means that you must still be in love. No, that means I want to pop him in his motherfucking face. They ain't got nothing to do with love. I can't stand the nigga. Be very clear. Okay. The only reason why I ain't doing what I really want to do is because I end up in prison. Um. But yeah, he has this idea of them taking a vacation together. It's not going to happen. Latricia doesn't even like the sight of your face. Um, he doesn't want to believe that Trisha moved on. Basically, she moved on. You left. You went to Atlanta. You came back. Thought she was going to be waiting, and another nigga had moved in. That's really the end of the story. Um, he says. He said he can't. I put he can't even admit he left. I understand she feels like I left her, but I didn't leave her, but you did. Because from what again, I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, she said you moved to Atlanta. So if you moved to Atlanta, and I don't think he had any like reason to let me say this. I don't think he had any real reason to move to Atlanta. Like I don't think it was because of a job. I think he was trying to move down there and be. I mean, I guess I'm trying to be a. Was he trying to be a music producer? I guess in a way, I guess it is because of a job, but I don't think he had any real reason to move to Atlanta. I think he just moved to Atlanta because girl, that's where the girls want to go. He says that she had things going on with her family and he couldn't leave her. But you did, though. So I guess he's talking about around the time, because you know, Trisha had like 3 deaths, like back to back to back. Did she say her mother, father, and sister? Or mother, father, and brother? Mother, was it mother and father and grandmother? I can't remember, but Latricia had a lot of deaths happen in her family, like back to back. Um, Anyway, so Marquez. Marquez goes over to Latricia and Ken's home. Baby, he walked his ass right in that house. Baby, he rang the doorbell. Ding, 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 ding. Baby, by the time Ken even got up, Marquez was walking through the door. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody knows that you just don't walk into somebody's house without their permission, especially, okay, especially in a situation like this where you and the baby mama, ex-wife, soon to be ex-wife don't get along, and baby, you and the new boyfriend barely hanging on by a thread. Marquez is absolutely fucking nuts. Nobody in their right mind is walking through the door of somebody else's home without their permission. And think that, girl, you might not end up on your back or covered in a white sheet. So he walks in the house, and Latricia, of course, is pissed. He then says, dang, where my drink at? Can I get a drink? Because they were drinking. I was kind of like, girl, they're not gonna offer the man no drink, because you know when you go to somebody's house, they be like, hey, you want something to drink? So you know. So Ken starts talking about setting boundaries, and then Marquez says, well, we should have set boundaries 2 or 3 years ago when y'all started talking. Marquez can't get over the fact that Latricia has moved on. Let me just say something. And Marsau clocked this last year. I'm gonna give Marquez this. It was definitely something inappropriate going on with Ken and Latricia, because, like Marsau said, if nothing was inappropriate, if nothing inappropriate was happening, then why is it that anytime she would, I guess, do the tango with Marquez, y'all would stop talking if y'all were really honestly friends. I said, ooh, clock that T. Girl. But y'all stopped talking because there was something inappropriate. Whether it was y'all flirting, whether it was, you know what I'm saying? Probably not nothing necessarily sexual, but it doesn't have to be sexual for it to be inappropriate. But at this point, it doesn't even matter though. Like, also, you know how like sometimes at some point it's like, I remember like it's kind of like with Arion and Martell. Even though I could feel a way about it, I can be conflicted in my feelings. But at some point, it's like it doesn't even matter because he with the girl. He been with the girl for a long time. It is what it is now. It's kind of like Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats and Mashonda. No shade. You know, they said Alicia Keys was a side hoe. I don't know. I wasn't there. Go ask Mashonda. But at some point, it's like, girl, Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats been together for how long? At some point, it's like, girl, it is what it is at this point. So even with Latricia and Ken, girl, they together. And like Ken told you, baby, when I say baby, Ken had me gagged. Let's keep on going. So Latricia says you were out of sight, out of mind. And so they start talking about how he walked in the house the other day without permission. And then he says, my daughter had 2 drinks and 3 bags. And I wasn't about to let her walk in by herself. I don't care. Baby, he would have got the fuck up out of my house. Let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck if y'all daughter had 33 bags and 17 drinks in her hand. Don't walk in my house without my permission. I don't give a fuck if she has 17 hefty bags, okay? And 33 big gulps she was trying to lug up in this mother. Don't walk in my house. Don't walk in my house. Don't walk in my house. I don't even like you. We just got kids together at this point. Marquez, when he walked in that house last week, I didn't see a motherfucking thing in his hand. I could be mistaken. Y'all let me know. Did y'all see some bags and glasses and cups in his hands? I'm assuming they went to McDonald's because he said she had 2 drinks and 3 bags. So I guess, girl, it was something for the something for the son, something for the daughter, and some dessert in the other bag, and a Dr. Pepper and a root beer. I didn't see anything in Marquez's hand, and I don't give a damn what the daughter had in her hand. I don't. That does not give you the right to walk into this home, especially when we are not what we are. You only certain people can walk in people's house without my sister, my brother-in-law. They walk into my apartment without my permission because I tell them I'm not getting up. So when them kids be over here, girl, put the code in and walk straight through the door. Okay, in the morning when my sister come and she drop the kids off before she go to work, girl, if I'm still asleep, girl, just walk through the door. When you walk through the door and I hear some noise, girl, I know it's y'all. I'm getting up. You see what I'm saying? They got my code and everything. Girl, they kids over here. So when you get off work, girl, if I'm in a room taking like today, literally today, I was in the room. Tatum, Sloan, and Bailey were in here. I was in my room taking notes, trying to watch the show. So when they left, I could go ahead and do this review. Girl, I saw Bailey was in the room. Girl, hugging on my neck and shit. I'm trying to girl. Anyway, so she in the room with me, and girl, I heard the door open, and it's my sister walking through the door. Girl, come on, come on, baby. Come on. Oh, Bailey, they go mommy. Okay. Okay, girl. Anyway, but for real though, like, girl, it doesn't matter. Like, only like y'all get what I'm trying to say. Then Sharon comes, and it became real weird. She's standing there, like, what do I do? Because like we're shooting a show now. So what do I do? So Sharon is late to the scene, and then Marquez gets up and he's like I don't even know her, and we will, basically like she has something to say to me, and blah blah blah, and he was like, and by the way, I'm Marquez. Now, mind you, Marquez and Sharon really low-key met the other day, but he's introducing himself. And then he says, would you like something to drink? This is the boundary that we're talking about, Mark. That's why I said Marquez has to be slow. He has to have an intellectual disability. We'll say that. Because there's no way that, how are you in somebody else's home? Because you really think this is your home. You think this is your home because your wife, technically legally his wife, and your kids live here. This is not your home. You can't offer somebody a beverage. You can't just walk into this home. You still don't get what boundaries are. Girl, how are you a guest in the home and you're offering somebody else a drink? Now you could call the owners rude for not offering their guests a drink. But you can't just be like, would you like a drink? And then he says, I'm kind of thirsty. Next time I'll bring a bottle. And then he starts to talk about the kids being traumatized. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all, Marquez uses those kids as a piece in this game. Do I think the kids are affected by what's going on? I do. Do I think they're traumatized? I don't know. I'm not there. Traumatized is not the same as affected to me. Like you can be affected by something, but not necessarily traumatized. I feel like Marquez really puts those kids in the midst of the shit. Now, Latricia did it low key last week with the son when the son was walking upstairs. You're like, Xavier, tell the truth. Xavier, tell the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I do really believe that Marquez puts those kids in the middle of the shit. He uses those kids as a piece in this game with Latricia and Ken. So Ken tells him, those kids are not traumatized. You're trying to make this into something that it's not. And then Marquez tells him, you can't, no, he said, I assure you the kids are not traumatized. And then he said, you can't assure me about my kids. And then they start to go back and forth. Now it's who's here the most for the kids at the moment. I absolutely believe that Ken is there mostly for those kids. I do. Now, I think Marquez pretty much said, from what I remember, Marquez has already pretty much admitted to leaving, going to Atlanta, really not being there for the kids. I think calling every now and again or talking to him on the phone. But financially, he couldn't really do anything because I think they had to give him gas money to get to Huntsville to go to the son's graduation. I think at one point the son was sending the daddy money. It was some crazy shit like that going on. And baby, this is when I literally gagged. Baby, I was over here. This was Sunday. I was watching the episode. And I was blowing up balloons because my niece's birthday was Monday. Her actual birthday was Monday, but they celebrated on Saturday because her parents had to work. So I was babysitting yesterday and today. So anyways, I'm Sunday. And so I'm like, since it's her actual birthday on Monday, when she walked into my apartment, I had like a happy birthday and I had like balloons everywhere. When I tell you, girl, I was tired as hell. I had balloons all on the ground. I had, what is it called? Anyways, I just had, it was just like, it was cute. So anyways, girl, I'm over here blowing up a balloon. And then this motherfucker said, those are your kids, but right now, this is my family. This is my family. Bitch, when I tell you I stopped blowing that balloon and looked up. Baby, hold up. But this is exactly how I was. I was sitting on this couch just like this. I was sitting just like this. And I was blowing the balloon up and I was listening at the same time. And then I heard him say, those are my kids. No, I'm sorry. Those are your kids. But right now, this is my family. This is my family. And I was blowing this balloon up, and then I stopped. Girl, baby, the way I looked around this apartment, baby, when I tell you I didn't know what the fuck, I said, oh, baby. But on some real shit, is Ken lying? I don't know. I feel like Ken not lying. Y'all let me know. Those are your kids, but this is my family. Right now, this is my family. Bitch. Marquez is a motherfucking liar. Girl, Marquez is lying. He basically starts pulling the lie about the kid's name not being on the divorce papers as minors. I mean, I don't know anything about this, but I mean, technically there's only one minor child because the other son is 19. So would he still be considered a minor? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Like, because 18, you're legally declared an adult. So, but nonetheless, regardless of what it is, their names are on the paper. Marquez is telling a bold-faced lie. You could tell he had a smirk on his face. Marquez literally had a smirk on his face. And at that point, girl, Ken got pissed off because he was like, you're lying, you're always lying. I do believe Marquez is a liar. I believe that Marquez is really just there to cause chaos and confusion and to basically break up Ken and Latricia. I don't think that Marquez really wants Latricia. I don't think he wants Latricia with somebody else. I think he feels a way because Ken is in the picture and Ken is doing being a better father than he is to his kids. I think he's intimidated by Ken's presence. I think he knows that Ken has stepped up to the plate in a way that he has not or couldn't, at least for the last few years. And I think that he doesn't want Latricia to be with anybody. I think that if Ken and Latricia broke up, girl, I think that Marquez will probably move his ass back to Atlanta. I truly believe that. And then Ken sits down and then he says, okay, I'm going to sit down, you sit down. And then Marquez then sit down. And then he says, sit down and get he says, sit down and get out. And baby, when I tell you, when I tell you, baby, Ken stood up. Baby.
Miss Peaches, you need to come up in here and get this rock wilder.
Peaches!
Okay. Wait a minute. All right.
And all I know is I saw Marquez running. I know y'all saw Marquez back and back. Marquez them that turned into motherfucking Usain Bolt. I said, girl, you better run, because that's a big ass nigga. And Ken look like he turns into the Incredible Hulk. Okay, but you gotta put him, girl. You gotta put that nigga down. A nigga like Ken, girl. Don't even fight him, girl. You gotta just reach into your bag, because that's the only way you gonna make it out alive. Because Ken look like he's strong as hell. Ken get one finger around your girl. Ken get one finger on your body, girl. It is a wrap. Girl, it went off at that point, so we don't know what happened. It says to be continued. But Marquez definitely started back and back. You done talked all that shit, walking to these people's house again. Girl, pretty much disrespected them again. Girl, don't know what boundaries are. Girl, you're literally lying to these people's face, and now you're about to get your ass whooped. Anyways, y'all. All right, I'll see you. I'm sure that's it, girl. What else? I don't think nothing else was going on. All right, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.